Summertime is in full swing, and that means families will spend plenty of days by the pool or at the lake. But there are calls for people to be careful around water. In recent weeks, the Montreal area has seen a number of drownings, and joining us now is Dr. Hussein Wissanji, a pediatric general surgeon at the Montreal Children's. Thanks for doing this.
Hi, Matt.
So you published a study recently. It had a very alarming statistic about drownings or near drownings in Quebec. Just talk to us a little more about that.
What we realized is that looking at the number of drownings during the summer months in Quebec on average, specifically for children, there's going to be one drowning or near drowning a day per summer day that is expected during the summer months in Quebec.
So obviously that is very concerning. When we talk about water safety, of course, I'm sure people out there really want to know, are children and teenagers more at risk of drowning than, say, adults are?
So drowning killed at every age. Babies in bathtubs, toddlers in pools, teens and adults in river and lakes. There's just no safe age, just different kind of danger. When we're talking about toddlers, we realize with our study that most of them unfortunately pass or have a drowning or near drowning event in a residential pool. With regards to teenagers and adults, it's going to be mostly in lakes or in rivers.
And an important change coming for pool owners, residential pool owners. By September 30th, those pools are going to have a fence around them. So what difference do you think this will make for water safety?
Again, going back to our study, we realized that the majority of children who had a drowning, meaning that unfortunately they died after having a submersion in water, this happens when there was no safety fence around the pool or where the fence wasn't used properly. So we're really hoping that by the end of September, everybody in Quebec is going to abide to this legislation and have a properly installed fence around their pool.
So what are some tips, some advice for parents as they're in the middle of the summer now, and certainly they'll be spending days by the pool or up at the cottage by the lake? What would you tell parents to be sure that, you know, their children, their teenagers as well, are staying safe around water?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that there is around drowning is how drowning happens. What people imagine is a scene like Hollywood when there's a lot of shouting and waving our arms in the air, but drowning happen really silently and can happen within 30 or 20 seconds. It could be very fast. So one of the biggest advice we can give to families is, specifically for toddlers, make sure there's always somebody who is designated to monitor and have both eyes on their child or on the children that are in the water so they can avoid any dramatic event of drowning or near drowning. When we're thinking about open bodies of water, say a lake or a river, then we're thinking about life jackets, the buddy system, don't swim alone, avoid the use of alcohol or drugs when you're in the water, and just make sure that you know your level of strength in terms of how strong of a swimmer are you, and be sure to assess that the water in front of you is safe.
Is knowing how to swim or using the proper flotation devices, does that also contribute to, you know, potentially preventing a drowning or a near drowning situation?
Absolutely, and I think you might know more about this than me because of your previous background as a swimmer and a lifeguard, but knowing how to swim, taking swimming lessons is absolutely crucial. Life vests can be extremely helpful, especially if you're on a boat or a flotation device. You should wear your life vest.
Very important to keep in mind in the next few months ahead in this summertime. Dr. Hussein Wissanji, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you for your time.